This area has grown rapidly over the last 10 years. The home values were a lot lower than many other areas in Charlotte proper. The average percentage of home ownership in the area is actually 92%. If you've been on the hunt for a small town with big town vibe, easy commute times into Charlotte, has some gorgeous homes, amazing home value, strong economy, and great schools, well, you might have just hit the nail on the head.
I don't know what it is.
Today in this video, we're going to be reviewing everything Harrisburg, North Carolina. This adorable town to the northeast of Charlotte sits right off of 485 with convenience to just about everything, but enough quiet that you don't even realize you're just 25 minutes from Uptown Charlotte. I'm gonna take you through not only its proximity to everything from the coast to the mountains, but I'm gonna also tell you a little bit more about the economy, what to expect, the style of homes, and even a little bit more about location of schools, hospitals, and of course, grocery stores. So stay tuned to the very end because I'm gonna share with you some details also on the economy and what makes this a unique location just outside of Charlotte. If you've been looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina, the ins, the outs, everything in between, including the upstate of South Carolina, you have come to the right channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and be the first to know about all upcoming changes to the Charlotte market. My name is 𝗖𝗁 and I am your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert. Every single day, we are getting calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites from people just like you who are looking to make the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area and might need a little guidance. So if that's you, drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there. And whether you're making the move in 9 days or 90 days from now, moving across the world, across the country, or simply across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. Harrisburg, North Carolina has a rich history that comes all the way back to the early 1700s. Now, while Harrisburg has been a quiet little town in the outskirts of Charlotte, but over the last few years, it has become a very popular town with multiple developments being put in, with beautiful homes, generous acreage on your lot, and easy proximity to everything nearby. Now, this town does sit between Charlotte and Concord. It has easy proximity not only to the airport, but also if you want to go on an adventure and do some hikes and some of the nature trails, that's also available. So let's dive in and take a look at the map so I can share with you everything you need to know about this area and you can make the decision if this might be the spot for you. So Harrisburg, North Carolina, as I mentioned, it sits up to the northeast of Charlotte. So I'm gonna do a quick zoom out here and show you exactly where we are. So this right here is Harrisburg. Now Harrisburg is not very big. In fact, you're probably looking at it going, oh, okay, that's quite big. This all around it is Concord. So Concord stretches all the way around that way. This little blurb right here is basically Harrisburg. It's actually quite small, but the quaintness of it actually brings it quite a bit of charm. So with it being in that location, I'm going to zoom out here a little bit further, like very far, just to show you where we sit. So in Harrisburg, you are about 3.5 hours from Wilmington, 3.5 hours from Myrtle Beach, and 3.5 hours from Charleston. Skip Myrtle Beach, you don't need to go there, but these two are gorgeous. Now the other part is, this is Harrisburg right here. You are just an hour and a half from Boone and about 2 hours from Asheville. So you've got a lot of opportunity to go there, and you're exactly 2 hours from Raleigh. It's kind of a nice little center point, as is the rest of Charlotte, which is great, but it has some other attributes as well. So let's zoom in. So here's Harrisburg right here. You have the 485 belt that loops all the way around. I'll go ahead and highlight that for you. So here is 485 that goes all the way around. The nice thing about this, you've got a few different avenues if you commute. You can either come in this way and head into town. You can come in out and around and come over. You can go 485 to the lower and come up 74. You can loop all the way around and go to Ballantyne. No matter where you need to go, you can get there pretty easily. In addition, from Harrisburg to Charlotte Douglas International is about 30 minutes, depending upon where you live in Harrisburg. But there's also our regional airport, which you are literally, I would say 8 minutes door to door. Not too bad at all, maybe 10. In addition to that, you have proximity also to Lake Norman. So you can come right up to Lake Norman. I'm going to click off of here so you can see how close that really is. So Lake Norman is literally, boop, you're right there. So you are about 25 minutes from Lake Norman, which is a great spot to spend in the summer months, even in the fall and the spring, and really honestly in winter. We have very mild seasons, so you can go out there pretty much anytime. In fact, we used to have jet skis. My husband and I, we live in this region right up here. We would actually pop over and drop our jet skis. We did it once, I think it was October, late October. Beautiful 80-degree day. The water was still decently warm enough for my New Yorkers. It's about the temperature of the water mid-August in the ocean. But we do have a really warm lake, so that's very helpful. So you are really close to just about everything. Now here's the benefit. If we zoom way in here, you're gonna notice that there is a lot of land in and around here, right? Let me go and put our satellite on. You can see there's still quite a bit when it comes to farmland, open land, wooded land. There's still a lot of growth to happen in this area. Now, we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about shopping and dining and things of that nature, but I also wanna point out the actual neighborhood and area itself. This area has grown rapidly over the last 10 years. In fact, it's actually had a massive increase, doubling its population over the last 10 years, going from 10,000 to 23,000 people in this area, which is crazy. And in fact, Harrisburg has been named in the top 5 fastest growing towns in North Carolina. That speaks volumes. But it's not overcrowded. That's one thing that I do want to point out. It was kind of this lesser known area for a very long time. And I'll go ahead and highlight this again. It was a lesser known area for a really long time and then became super popular. The popularity has grown for a lot of reasons. One being there's plenty of space there. There's plenty of opportunity for homes. The home values were a lot lower than many other areas in Charlotte proper. And you're still close enough to the city, but far enough away that it's calm, casual, definitely far more laid back. So with all this population growth, you're probably wondering what's going on with the town. I don't blame you for wondering that. The good thing is the town's actually kept up quite well with the infrastructure. And one of the things you're gonna notice, I'll zoom in here, far more growth and opportunity, especially when it comes to things like shopping and dining. So when you first come into Harrisburg, right up this way, you're gonna come down 49. This is one of the main veins to get into Harrisburg. Now, right around here, it drops down to a 35 mile an hour. So be careful. It goes from 50 to 35. So you gotta slow it on down. But as you can see, you've got a public supermarket, Food Lion, you've got your Chick-fil-A, everything you could possibly need right through here. And there's a lot of other shopping areas in throughout. Okay, so you've got your Federal Credit Union, Aldi, pretty much anything that you would need, Atrium Primary Healthcare. Actually, my doctor's office was right in there for quite a while. There's a lot sitting back in here, all right? Recreation office for Harrisburg Y. There's so much, and that's all just right here, right outside of, let me go and pull this layer up to show you a little bit better. Right outside of Charlotte. So University City Boulevard, you come right on in, and here's a hub. Now, with that being said, it is growing quite a bit. And what you'll end up seeing is quite a bit of growth even further on up the road. Now, as we continue, this is one spot I wanted to hone in on. This isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Yes, this is more of a industrial area right through here. It's just a little pocket right there, but it's super convenient. It's been there literally forever. So is that going to go away? Maybe at some point when it's needed. But as of right now, there's so much more growth happening to the north and the south here. So a lot of growth happening down in these areas and right up here that there's no need for that to be touched right now. In addition to that, most people don't even notice that anymore. But there are some beautiful neighborhoods in and throughout this area. You can see some of these older neighborhoods right in through here. A lot of people have pools. There's another popping area that I do want to share with you that is also in Harrisburg. So coming from this Harrisburg proper area right here that we were just looking at, we're going to go one exit down on 485. All right, so it's this exit right here, Rocky River Road. Now, this exit has been around for a very long time. It's a beautiful road. I'll show you this real quick. So as you come down this beautiful road past these older neighborhoods. Now, these are some gorgeous homes. These, when I say older, these are in the mid 2000s. But it's a little two-lane road down through Rocky River. But you have these adorable neighborhoods, some homes that kind of stand out on their own. and you just follow your way all the way through town. Now, that's one thing with Harrisburg. The area is extremely residential, all right? So you're not going to find big areas for events and things of that nature. It's very much residential, as you can see, but there's enough space that these residences are rather spread out. They're not cookie cutter right on top of each other, which is really nice. So let me home back in on this exit here. Now, this doesn't even look like this in real life anymore. I'm gonna do a vlog for this just to show you, but when you come off the Rocky River exit, right over here, just north, as you can see, there's a huge development going in right here. A lot of this is townhomes and apartments. But one thing you're gonna notice, you've already got, this is older, but you've got a Chick-fil-A and your Dunkin' Donuts, all of these buildings that are right here. It's gonna be called the Farmington Village. There you go, Farmington Village. There are a ton of additional land leases right through here. So we're gonna see quite the hub for shopping and dining. Now across the street here, this has been around for a minute. In here, this is actually where my hairdresser used to be, right in here. Not at Great Clips, but there was a hairdresser spot over here. So you've got a couple of different things in through here, your CVS. This is a much older shopping center that has been servicing this area for a really long time. You've got right in here quite a few. That's a Harris Teeter, UPS store, things of that nature, all through that spot right there. Now, you can see just beyond that, there's some older homes. I mean, these are very small homes, probably 1,400 square foot. Some of them get a little bit bigger, but you can tell that they're a little bit older. As you start coming on down this way, you can see these homes are a little bit more spread out, a little bit larger, nicer neighborhood, lush trees. Many of the neighborhoods are like this, and the older the neighborhood, the more mature it's going to look. But I love the homes off of Rocky River. I will also point out, you've got an emergency department right here. You've got another one to the north side that we just saw. If you pop up here, there's another hospital area right up that way. But everything in between here is super convenient. If you need anything, it is right there. Now let's talk a little bit about the high school. All right, so if we're to zoom out, boom, there's our high school right here. So I'm gonna zoom in on that high school. As you can see, it's between these two roads. This is the Hickory Ridge High School. Now, this is a beautiful high school. You've got your baseball and softball fields, tennis courts, practice fields, football, plenty of sports. We do love our sports, soccer, you name it. That's a very large high school. Now, this will be the high school for all the children in this area. There's also, of course, a variety of other schools, such as right next door, we've got our Hickory Ridge Middle. A little bit smaller, but it's only for 3 years. For those of you in other states, yes, middle school is 3 years here in North Carolina, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So you do see they've got their sports equipment and soccer fields right here, which is perfect. And for the moms that want a little bit of coffee and dads, you can pop into the coffee shop while you are waiting for your kids to get out of school. Now, these neighborhoods across the way here, very simple homes. They're really pretty. These are about 25 to 3,000 square feet. But a lot of the neighborhoods in these areas do have community pools, usually a pickleball or tennis court, sometimes a basketball court, but that is very common in many of these developments. As you go through, you'll start seeing having common areas that have shared amenities is a big thing. Now, some of these neighborhoods are a little bit tighter together. You see there's your shared pool right there. Some are a little tighter together. Some are a little bit more spread apart. Some of them are more mature. Some of them are not. But it is a huge mix of beautiful homes. And the thing is, because there's been so much growth over the last few years, you're actually going to notice that many of these homes are newer. And that's right. There's a lot of homes in and through here. So just to give you an idea of where we were just looking, we've been focusing on this area right through here. Really pretty. But because there's been so much growth over the last 10 years, part of that came from the houses being built. If you build it, they will come, but also the demand for this area. Both have started to intertwine, which has given us way more homes that are a lot newer versus many of the other areas of Charlotte that are just, they're older areas. Now, we also have some opportunities for some really beautiful parks in this area too. So let me move this over here just to give you an idea of what these parks look like. So big parks, small parks, they've got ponds, A lot of them have nature trails and things of that nature. Unintended. We are really big in the Charlotte area on greenways. So this is an example of a greenway in this neighborhood. And as you can see on the map here, let me see if I can enlarge this in some way. You see this little green loop here? That is the greenway. That's the actual greenway. That's what we're seeing. So there's a lot of little greenways that go through these parks. It's really pretty, really well done. Encouraged to go out and have, picnics and things of that nature, but they're also very close to the neighborhood. So they're easily accessible. You've got covered areas that you can actually either rent out or just hang out. Here we go. Here's a perfect example. You've got your pond over here, your little paths, and you've even got your markers. Go all the way around. It's almost a mile. So if you like to go run or be outdoors, it's going to be easy to track, even though I know everybody has a tracker. But there also are some really cool trail rides that go through this area. So it's just pretty. It's a really pretty place to be, and it's a good spot to be able to go and, I would say, discover the area. Now, not too far from that, we've got the Flow Park. Let me see if we can pull this up. Okay. So this one right here, more open. So a lot less trees. You've got more open field kind of area, but it also has public baseball and softball fields, things of that nature. So you're usually going to have a lot of families out here on weekends watching the kids play t-ball. It's a good little spot. Now, not necessarily where you'd probably come to hang out, but as you can see, there's some spots nearby for a little bit of putt-putt, but it's always very active, I will say that. Not too far from there, you've got a really cool spot. Now, technically Reed's Gold Mine, if you take a look at the address, is in Midland. So I know it's not necessarily in Harrisburg, but I want to point it out. Reed's Gold Mine is a super cool spot. Yes, actually, Charlotte sits on one of the largest gold deposits in the East Coast. And in fact, it was the home of the gold rush on the East Coast before the West Coast became popular. So with that, there are still gold mines. Reed Gold Mine is one of them. You can actually take the family there, go walk through some of the old mines. They have all kinds of educational things that are going on over there as well. You can check out the old, here you go. Yes, it's safe, don't worry. But you can walk around the property. You can also mine for gold. That's right, they've got like a little mining area. They do throw in some really cool little stones and such for the kids so that they can find something. But you can still sift for gold and pan. It's really cool. Great activity to go to, and it's just outside of the area of Harrisburg, right over here. So there are so many beautiful areas. Now, the nice thing about the fact that Harrisburg is close to Charlotte, but just far enough away, is also you've got the great schools, you've got the quiet outdoors, proximity to trails and parks and things of that nature, but there's a few other major benefits. One of the interesting things, as you see, very residential, we just talked about that, the average percentage of home ownership in the area is actually 92%, which is extremely high. Many areas of even Charlotte, it doesn't usually go past about 55% to 60%, meaning a lot of renters as well. Most of the homes in Harrisburg are owned and are lived in by the primary owner, which is very interesting, just a little bit different. So you can see that these individuals that are moving here are either from Charlotte and moving out, or they are people that are seeing the opportunity of this area, what it truly has. And here's been one of the things we've seen with the increase in popularity, the increase in beautiful homes being built in this area. We're also seeing an increase in the average and median sales prices of homes in this region. Median sales price in July of 2025 was around $523,000, a far cry from what it was several years ago. But another interesting fun fact is the median household income. Now, in many of the surrounding areas to Harrisburg, especially out in these areas here, so we've got Concord up this way, we can go a little further out to Rocky River and Midland and Locust and all these different areas, they have far lower median household incomes. Harrisburg, however, has one of the highest median incomes in the region at $141,000 per year. What this is showing us is most people don't work in Harrisburg. We actually had a decrease in the number of jobs, but we are still in the positive on employment. So unemployment is actually much lower than the US average. And even though jobs have decreased in the area, because we've got median household income of 141, that's meaning most of the people that live in Harrisburg are working elsewhere. A lot of these people are working in the financial district. A lot of these people might be working in healthcare. Those are our two main industries in Charlotte. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Who knows? I haven't mapped out who's who and where they're working, but that is a telltale sign that folks are working usually in those larger industries. They also have a higher pay scale. So Harrisburg is a very, very stable, safe, beautiful, lush, amazing area with great schools and amazing houses. So if you've been looking for an area that hits all of those buttons, this may be the place for you. So I didn't lie, it's a pretty cool area, isn't it? Harrisburg has become one of my favorite areas in Charlotte, not only because of the proximity to Charlotte itself, but the fact that you can still get that quiet, laid back community feel in an area that is just so convenient to everything. Now, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to see you back here and seeing everything Charlotte has to offer. And as I mentioned, my name's 𝗖𝗀, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert. So if you're thinking about making the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area, or maybe you already live here, you are not alone. Every single day we're getting calls, texts, emails, Zoom invitations from people who are just like you and may need a little bit more guidance on their house hunt. If that's you, drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there. And whether you're planning on making the move in 9 days or maybe 90 days from now, moving across the world, across the country, or just across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. So until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. So you're making the move. There's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're gonna help you make the move. Go ahead. Pick one. They're both really good.